I'd like to introduce Giorgia Lodi from the Agency for Digital Italy. It's a pleasure to have you with us today, and we look forward to your presentation. Thank you.
So, good morning. First of all, let me thank the organizer of this conference for the invite. It's a pleasure for me to be here and to present the work we are doing in the Italian Digital Agency. My name is Giorgia Lodi. I'm a consultant of the agency, and today I'm going to talk you about the Italian application profile that we developed based on the core public service vocabulary. That is one of the main work that has been done during the ISA program in the context of semantic interoperability. So before providing you the lessons we learned from this experience, by the way, it's a very new experience. We just published the first draft version of this application profile last week. There is a public consultation open in Italy, and so it's a quite new experience, and we can now share with you some lessons we learned from this experience. But before of that, let me give you some hints about the scenario we are dealing with in Italy and the objectives we wanted to achieve. So some years ago, some previous government actually included in a law some regulation that assigned to our agency the role to create and manage at the national level a number of catalogs, or if you prefer, base registers, using the European Interoperability Framework terminology. So we have catalogs for metadata that describe data of public administrations, catalogs that describe the geospatial data of public administration, which is compliant with the INSPIRE directive. We should have to build a catalog of public services. And here we go, because here is not very good situation in Italy. We do not have a central and national catalog of public services. And if we look at the public administrations, they do not have proper catalogs of public services. They just sometimes, not all of them, publish lists of public services in their institutional website. So here is the main goal and the objectives we wanted to achieve. And here is the importance also that we found in the core vocabularies. So we wanted to build this catalog, national catalog, obviously implementing our legislation. And we started from two main objectives. First of all, it should be user-centric. This morning it was mentioned this aspect. So users must be able to find in a very easy way the service they look for. So we need to take into consideration their needs. Secondly, we realized that in order to do that, we have to be very careful about the back end of that catalog. So we really need to build a strong and a robust data model behind that catalog, because if we take care of the back end, we are sure that we can provide good quality to end users. So the Italian Digital Agency is responsible of this catalog. The target users are obviously all the public administrations, central, locals. We have a quite heterogeneous scenario in Italy with local administration, regional municipality, and so on. I tell you that sometimes we found that exactly the same service offered by two different municipalities is named in a different way. We don't know why, but well, there is this trend for public administration to do what they want, but obviously we need harmonization of this situation, because we need, to guarantee interoperability, in this case, semantic interoperability. And we believe that this profile, it's important because this profile based on the core vocabularies can really be helpful from our point of view to improve the data exchange regarding public service, in this specific case, between the different administrative levels that we have within our country, but also with our country and the Europe, in the sense that we need, in this case, to look at cross-border interoperability. So what we did is we defined this profile. And so here we go, some lessons that we learned that I would like to share with you. First of all, the methodology. Our methodology was somehow both top-down and bottom-up. So we start with some document, let me say policy document or strategic documents, if you prefer, of our current government, where some kind of KPIs were defined regarding public services. That allowed us to understand in which way our government would like to evaluate the evolution of public services towards more and more online services, obviously. And so that allows us to understand which kind of data collect from public administration and in which way to define our data model. Then we look at what some public administration publish in terms of public services, the list of public services, in order to see the level of details they are used to document the services. And then what we have done is to look at the core public service vocabularies. And also to look at the application profile that was defined in Europe regarding this vocabulary. Even if that vocabulary is more specific for business activities, we took it into consideration. We extended, because we have not only businesses, we have also citizens, so we needed to, represent public services connected to events of the citizen life cycle as well. And then based on that, we extended and we produced this vocabulary. But let me give you another message. We believe that if you want to do a vocabulary, it is not sufficient to publish a nice PDF document with the technical specification. You should do what you do with data, or hopefully you should do with data. So you should open the specification, publish it on the web using standards and using a machine-readable format. So that's why we used the ontology web language standard of W3C, and we provided and we defined an ontology of this application profile. We make use of ontology design patterns. There is a very wonderful website of ontology design patterns is there. There are solutions that people face when they have to model data, and so why don't we reuse them? We reuse them and we aligned our ontology, link our ontology to other external ontologies available on the web. And finally, we also found it very important to define control vocabularies for certain kind of data. I'm not saying that everything should be a control vocabulary. I'm saying that for some kind of data, it is useful for an harmonization objective to use control vocabulary. And I conclude my presentation. I give you some references. First of all, here is the team in the Italian Digital Agency that is working currently at this project of this national catalog of public services and to this profile. There is the link to the public consultation. Obviously, it's in Italian, but the ontology is both in English and in Italian. So UML diagram as well is in English. So if you want to contribute to our public consultation, you are very welcome and you can follow with the English version of our ontology. Last but not least, I saw some slides at the beginning of this conference about SEMIC. The conference about semantic interoperability. SEMIC this year will be held in Rome. It will be hosted by our agency. It's a pleasure for us to welcome you in Rome. And in that occasion, we are working very hard to present you the beta version of our national catalog of public services that is based on this application profile. Thank you very much.